There, you can have a look. Hey, that's really good. Yeah, it's the ivy. I like the way you've drawn the bricks on the wall as well.
Thank you. There to remind me where I found the ivy growing. Hello.
Hello. Now let's see what I can find. Ah, look. There's some moss. And it's growing on the sand, which is at the top of the wall.
And look, you can even find plants growing in between the cracks of the paving stones.
And there are lots of mini beasts as well. Like these. They're snail shells. But there's no snail in this one.
Have a close look around where you live, near your home or school. Try looking at the pavements or on the walls or on fences and hedges. You may be surprised by how much you can find. But don't pick things. Do leave them there for others to enjoy.
Even if you live in the town, you can sometimes find a piece of wasteland amongst all the houses which is just right for wildlife. You could even try to make your own nature park. This is Benwill Nature Park in my hometown, Newcastle. It's a little piece of countryside in the middle of the city. And it's very special because it was made by local people and school children who live in this area. They've planted wildflowers and lots of trees, and they've even made a pond. Today, the children and I have come to see if any creatures have started to live in the pond. Right, so what do we do first?
You just put it down, lie down and just fill it up. Look, I'll show it, Amber. Oh, look, I got a snail. I got it.
Whoops, you got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Well done. All right.
You got it.
Oh,
Come here.
I can see it.
Come on. There's a word for you. Where's the apple?
How many tails has that got?
3.
3. Where is it? Did you find it?
It's got 6 arms.
This one here. It's the mayfly nymph. Yeah, that's the real. We're having a closer look at the creatures to find out what they are. We're checking them against a drawing.
The same size, isn't it? Yeah. Look, that thing there. You see that little thing darting around? What's that?
It's that.
It's this one here.
Yeah.
Does it look the right size? Does it look that size? Where is it?
No, it's that.
Does it look that size? That's the real size.
Yes. Yes.
And that turned out to be a water boatman. If you go pond dipping with your teacher, remember to put all the creatures back before you leave.
Parks are good places for looking at wildlife. There are lots of parks near where I live. Some of them have been there for a very long time, but they still need to be cared for. This is Bishop's Park in London, where I live. Like many other parks, it has some beautiful old trees that have been here a very long time. But in 1987, several of them were blown over in a storm by a very strong wind. Some children from a nearby school decided to help their local conservation club to grow new trees for the park. Let's see what they're up to today. Some time ago, the children planted some acorns and beechnuts in sand in jars. They've left the jars in the ground over winter, and now they're coming back to have a look at them. What do you think will have happened?
And over there. Nothing's grown.
Let's have a look inside your jar, Sian, and your one. Can you open it up? Oh, what's happened?
Grown.
It's grown. Should we take it out and have a look? Oh, we have to be very careful though, don't we? Oh, can you see? It started to grow a root. So now we're going to plant the acorns and beechnuts in open pots in the ground so they can grow up tall. Which way up do we put it in? This way up or this way up? This way. Right, so this goes down into the ground. So we make a hole and we put this in there. Then do we cover it up? Yes.
None.
So it's all covered up so you can't see it.
Let me find you.
It will take a long time for the trees to grow. Have you made a hole, Chanel? That's it, and push it down. Ah, that's a good one, isn't it?
Two. That one's done.
Are you going to get a separate pot, or do you want to put it in the same one?
In
That one.
I can't
Okay, make a hole.
Can you put it that way?
Oh, let's see. You're going to plant it in the ground?
No, what way?
Good. Are you going to come back and visit your trees?
Yes.
Good. So are you going to look after them? The children will be coming back often in the next few years to see how their trees are growing.
What happened to them now? Oh, yeah, but
I'm going to try and grow some chestnut trees. I bet you all know what these are. Yes, they're conkers. I found these on the ground last autumn, and I brought them home and put them outside in a small bowl with a little bit of water in it. And at the end of the winter, I brought them into the house and put them into one of these, a margarine tub, with some wet kitchen paper at the bottom. Right, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Put the top on. And then you put them somewhere really warm, like an airing cupboard, for a couple of weeks until the roots start to sprout.
And then, Tony, do you put them into pots, like the children did in the park with their acorns, once the roots are sprouted?
Well, you can do, but I'm growing mine in a milk bottle full of water. You can see here, there's the conker, and the roots are growing down, right at the bottom. And then we've got the stem and the leaves growing up. So all I need to do now is plant these in the park.
I'm sowing some seeds. If I look after them, I hope they're going to grow into flowers. These flowers. Do you know what they're called? Yes, foxglove. And I've got some more here. Ox-eye daisy, forget-me-not, and bluebell. Have you ever wondered how the flowers got their names? It's easy to guess how the bluebell got its name, from the blue colour and bell-like shape of its flowers. And the buttercup is the colour of butter and looks like a cup. This is shepherd's purse. A long time ago, when shepherds used to spend the whole day in the fields looking after their sheep, they used to take their lunch with them in a little bag or purse shaped like these seed pods. But what about the daisy? It's the day's eye. The petals open up in the sun every morning, like someone opening their eyes when they wake up. And the dandelion? In French, dent de lion means lion's tooth. The jagged edges of the flowers and leaves look like lion's fangs. There are lots of stories about how the forget-me-not got its name. See if you can find out any. Have you ever had the stitch? This is stitchwort. People thought it took away the pain in your side. Flowers were often used as medicine. This is comfrey. It was used for many different things: coughs, cuts and bruises. Flowers were used in other ways too, like rose petals. They were used to make perfume. And there were all sorts of stories about flowers. People thought that if you picked the poppies that grew in the corn, you'd bring on a thunderstorm. But if you just left them to grow, the weather would be fine and the farmer would have a good harvest. It was unlucky to pick elder too. People thought a spirit called the Elder Mother lived there, and that she'd do wicked things to anyone who harmed the elder. And there were fairies too. This is the foxglove, or folksglove, the flower of the fairy folk.
A foxglove fairy. Flower fairies of the summer. Have you seen these books before, Jay? It looks as though they were written a long time ago.
Yes, they were. My granny told me she used to read these as a child.
And look, there's a poem and a story for each one. There's the poppy. And the forget-me-nots.
And I've got the spring ones. This is the daisy, the dandelion, and the bluebell. You could make up your own stories about the wildflower fairies and how the flowers got their names.
We've got some flowers here that we made, and we even give them names. This one here is called the shy monster. And this one is the mophead. And this one here is the moonflower.
And this one, with the silver tail and the silver nose, is the silver-nosed mouse flower.
And you can even make trees, like this one here, which is the silver bell tree.
Now, I've got a good way of painting a picture of a tree. Now, watch this, Tony.
Right.
Children at school showed me how to do this. You make the trunk, and you've got to put lots of paint at the top, because when you want to make the branches, you take a straw and you blow.
Ah, I see. Can I have a go?
Yeah?
Oh, thanks.
Oh, that's good.
Make some little branches, I think, up here. Like that, yeah.
The children made all sorts of different trees with paints and materials.
I thought you were going to spring.
Right, let's do some more. Put them in here. And what are the white bits on yours? Clouds.
And you just put it more.
Got some more grass.
You get them with this. If I get one thing now. We've got
What do I do? I put them in here and make them all wet.
Then you put them on top of the trunk.
Well, if you'd like an order form for the notes that accompany this series,